Hey, coming up May 17th at Hard Rock, Atlantic City, I'll have the call with CM Punk. We'll be back on UFC Fight Pass for CFFC 74, and that will be 3 title fights, including the lightweight champion, Atlantic City, Cesar Balmaceda. He returns to defend his interim title against Sid Outlaw, who was the guy from Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender. He won the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series. So this is going to be an explosive card. And I know from calling Cesar's last fight at Borgata against Derek Norris, he kind of handpicked these guys because he wants to face the best guys he can find. And that leads us to May 17th against Sid Outlaw. And right now, Cesar Balmaceda, the CFFC lightweight champion, he joins us on the Boardwalk Honda hotline. Cesar, good to have you, man. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. You know, this weekend I was sitting in my house and I got a text from one of your old teachers, Mr. Gene Allen. He heard a promo running this weekend that mentioned that you were going to be on the show, and he was very excited to hear this broadcast. And he told me specifically to ask you about the time when you ran out of his classroom, if you recall this at all. At Chelsea Heights, he said he chased you for 10 minutes down the street.
Yeah, he chased me all around. He finally called up with me, convinced me to come back. Yeah, that's funny. He still remembers that.
I said, how did you know he was going to be on the show? He said, I just heard a promo running, so we've been promoting that you're going to come on. And I know from the last time you fought, against Derek Norris, which was a TKO impressive victory, you were probably hoping that you got the call to get the UFC call. Was that something that you were hoping for?
I'm always hoping it, but never expecting it. I'm just trying to take it, fight one fight at a time.
Sean Brady got that call after his fight in February. If you get this win against Outlaw, I know you said you don't expect it, but is that something that, you are kind of training for with that in mind, that this would be the victory that will open up the eyes?
Yeah, I believe so. This victory would definitely get me out there, get the attention, because I believe, Sydney Outlaw is one of the top prospects around, and a win over him would be amazing for my career. So, fingers crossed. I am hoping this does grab attention, but, not expecting anything.
Now, you just mentioned, one of the top prospects. Can you kind of give us a little bit of, what a guy like you has to do to get to this point? A lot of people don't know that these stories. They see you guys fight, and they just figure, these guys fight all the time. But that's not always the case. You guys have to manage life when you're trying to go for a dream like this.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's a lot of time you have to put in, especially if you have a full-time job, which I do. I work about 50 hours every week. And I sacrifice a lot of time from my family, my wife and my son, just to train to hopefully one day get to the UFC and actually have that be my full-time job. But yeah, it takes a lot. It's very hard.
When did you go down this road? When did you start this is something that I want to split 50 hours a week and work and then use the rest of my time for this? When did that kind of enter your life?
I think I always knew I wanted to fight, and I always knew I wanted to try to make it a career since I first seen the UFC. But as soon as I was 18, I was willing to do that, because I know if I put the time and effort, it'll pay off, and it'll be worth it at the end.
So far it has, undefeated, lightweight champion, and, of course, May 17th at the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. Now, you fought Norris, so that was kind of an interesting fight because Joe Lowry couldn't fight due to injury, and so you kind of handpicked Derek, correct?
Yeah, they offered me a couple guys, and I decided to go with him. He had the best record and seemed like the tougher opponent.
Which kind of indicates that, hey, you understand I've got to get my resume's got to be filled with the best guys if I want to really get to where I want to go. And if there's somebody better than me out there, so be it. But I got to go through the best to try to get to that ultimate goal. And that's something that a lot of people say, hey, he handpicks these guys. He's the guy who wants to fight these, these upper echelon guys, which kind of indicates that, you want to be tested all the time.
Yeah, that's right. I want to fight the best of the best. And, to get to my ultimate goal, to get to the UFC, that's how I'm going to do it. I don't want to run from anyone. I want to get the tougher fights so I could be noticed.
Now, in the fight against Norris, that was an early TKO. Were you surprised at how quickly you were able to take him out? Because I think a lot of people were a little surprised at how fast that fight went.
I'm not surprised. I go in there looking for that first round knockout. I don't go in there to win by decision, win by points. I go in there and try to take you out, try to get in and get out, as fast as I can.
By the way, this is a excellent card. 3 title fights on the card, which you will headline on May the 17th at Hard Rock. It's on UFC Fight Pass. You can get the tickets. They're on sale at CFFC.TV. It is May 17th. But is there another fight on this card that excites you? Because the Russian kid, Ketchdov, he was legit when we saw him fight in Borgata back on your card.
Yeah, I mean, everyone fighting on this card is amazing. They're all great fighters. I think every fight is going to be exciting and definitely worth coming out to see. I got nothing bad to say about anyone.
Yeah, that kid is, he was very technically sound, but also a tremendous striker. This is a phenomenal 3 title fights on the card, headlined by Cesar Balmaceda, who, by the way, so what are your days like right now in leading up for this fight? I got to imagine that this, starting now till May, are not fun days for you.
No, it's not. It's not. It's definitely a relief once it's all over, but it's basically, work in the morning, train at night, and it's just a repeat, just a repeat cycle. So, Saturday and Sunday, those are my days off from work, so give a little more time towards training. But
does the boss give you does he cut your hours back while you're preparing for the fight at least?
No. They'll give me, I'll ask for a week, at the week before my fight, and
right.
They'll give me it. They're pretty understanding with that.
Well, I don't know that you know this, but your last fight, I was in the room when you were weighing in. And I see how miserable those moments are, and you're getting up on the scale. And I think one of the young ladies in the room gave you some advice to, make weight there at the last minute. She said, do something and cough and you'll be all right. I was there for that.
Yeah. The scale was jumping back and forth just by 0.2.
Yes.
And her advice, it worked. It got me right on. So it was
yes.
It was great. Yeah. That's the worst part about the whole thing, I guess, is weighing in, cutting the weight. But other than that, it's all fun.
Right. Those minutes leading up to getting up on that scale have got to be the most mentally challenging moments. So, I've been working my ass off for stepping right now on this scale, and it better say what I want it to say.
Yeah, exactly. Because, without that, there's no title fight. There's possibly no fight. That's the biggest thing you have to do to actually get there and fight.
All right, May 17th. I know you got a lot of training to do to get ready for the fight against Sid Outlaw, which that's an excellent booking by Arias to get those together. It's a 3-title card. You can get your tickets CFFC.TV. It's at Hard Rock, Atlantic City. If you can't make it, I'll have the call with CM Punk on UFC Fight Pass. And Cesar Balmaceda is your lightweight champion, and he will headline that card in his hometown. That's pretty cool, though, when you come out in your hometown. You get to fight a lot in your hometown. That's something that a lot of guys don't get to do.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I like, it's very comfortable for me, but I know eventually I'm going to have to step out and go elsewhere, which I'll be prepared for it. But it's always awesome to fight in my hometown, and especially at Hard Rock. Hard Rock was the first place where I made my amateur debut.
That's where you'll be, May 17th. Our listeners out there, we will have tickets that we will be giving away for the fight. Cesar Balmaceda returns to defend his interim title against Dana White's Tuesday night Contender Series winner, Sid Outlaw, May 17th. Cesar, we will see you at the fights, pal.
All right, thanks. It's good. Thank you for having me on the show.